right, we'll go ahead and get started. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. My name is Hannah Crapeau, and I'm the Content Marketing Manager here at Certiport. We're happy to have you joining us for our fourth Certified Academy Design webinar of 2024. Feel free to drop into the chat and let us know where you're joining from, what courses you teach, and hopefully any questions that you have or what you're hoping to learn from our presenters today. This session is being recorded, so we'll send out a link to the full recording via email, along with some additional follow-up information and details after the presentation. I believe we talked about sending that out tomorrow, Rosie. Is that correct? Perfect. Okay, so if you have any questions or looking for information that we're sharing from the slides, keep an eye on your inbox for that. During the presentation, though, of course, we have everyone on mute. So if you have questions, the Q&A and the chat feature are your best friends. Go ahead and drop any questions that you have there, and we'll make sure to address those with our presenters today. This session is being sponsored by the Adobe Certified Professional Certification Program. The future belongs to those who create, whether it's to inform, persuade, entertain, or inspire. Success in the digital age means communicating in visually rich and interactive ways. With a firm grasp on the world's most powerful creative tools, Adobe Certified Professionals are ready to make their mark. And we're very, very excited to talk about the newest additions to the Adobe Certified Professional certification portfolio. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing, and I'll pass it over to our Adobe core team. Rosie, go ahead and take us away.
Right on. Well, thank you, Hannah, and thanks everyone for tuning in or for watching after the fact. We've been really looking forward to finally sharing this news. It's something we've sort of had to keep under wraps for a while now, and now we finally get to actually share some more information with you. So I will go ahead and share my screen. Or will I? Give me one moment. There we go. All right. So hi, my name is Rosie Capron. I'm the product marketing manager for the Adobe Certified Professional program. And we are so excited today to be able to share the news about what we've got in the pipeline. I wish I could have a drum roll. It's clearly not actually a surprise since it's in the name and the description, but we've got 2 new exams coming out this summer. And we're so eager to hear feedback, hear questions from you all, and to get you to start certifying your skills and certifying your students if you're an educator. So to kick things off, I'm actually going to hand things to our fearless leader, Tanner Morris, to talk a bit about the program in general for those of you who are either new to Adobe Certified Professional or who need a refresher. And then we will go on to sharing some of the big news. So take it away, Tanner.
Awesome. Thanks, Rosie. Hi, everyone. I'm Tanner Morris. I've done a lot of different things over the years here at Certiport. Most recently, I am the account executive over the Adobe program. So I get to do all the fancy stuff and they pay me the big bucks. Just kidding. I wish they did. But this is great to be with you. I'm really excited about where we're going with this program. For those of you who are new to it, who might not be as experienced with Adobe, we've had a very expansive partnership with Adobe since about 2007 is when we first started delivering our Adobe Certified Associate exams. We've since rebranded them as Adobe Certified Professional, and we love that name because it is very much a professional certification. It's something that we're targeting high schoolers, we're targeting people that are in college or in university, people that are looking to make that next big move in their career, and certification is where it's at. So they are official, they are industry recognized. You're going to see, if you go to Adobe Max or any big Adobe conference, you see our team there in a big way, right? Adobe is very proud to promote these certifications. They're all about essential knowledge for careers in digital media and design. So we have certifications that cover the gamut, and we're going to be talking about a few new ones today, but in general, let me just give you some details. They are 50-minute exams. That's where most of them fall in the Certiport portfolio. That's a sweet spot that we really like. They're developed by subject matter experts, people that use these tools in the field, people that are educators, people that are in the workforce that are using these every day, who help us define, hey, what does it mean to be certified in Photoshop or Express or Acrobat? We rigorously test these exams. We're confident that they really do assert the value that they claim, right? When you pass the certification, it's because you know your stuff. Because of that rigorous testing, we qualify for some extra things like this, the fourth bullet point there in the middle, the ACE college credit. There are many, many, many institutions across the US that are 2-year colleges, 4-year universities. They accept credit for certifications. So if you've got students that are getting ready to go to college, that's definitely something to look into, because earning a certification can help you in your next phase of your education. The 7 exams that we have live today are all included in ACE credit, and we're working on getting these 2 new ones on there as well. All of our exams target about 150 hours of experience and instruction. That's the recommendation. Obviously, if it's somebody who's been working in it longer, like some of you teachers and educators, you're not going to need to start fresh on that 150 because you've been playing with it. You've been experiencing that, right? But we recommend that for your students. And we've got a lot of different courseware options and different things that will help you get there to fill out your classes. They're delivered around the world. We have a network of Certiport authorized test centers that can use Compass Local or Compass Cloud. We even have some institutions, particularly in higher ed, they're using exams from home. They're also going to be available through Certiport's OnView remote delivery solution. And if there's questions about that in the Q&A, we can get into that. Rosa, will you hit the next slide for me? Okay, here's the view of all 9. So we've got the 7 available today, and then on the right, we've got Express coming in June and Acrobat coming in July. So it's a wide range of titles in the Creative Cloud, and it's a great suite of offerings. We've got all the big hitters that Adobe recommends, and then we're working on more. So that's an exciting place to be. Rosie, hit the next one for me. This is the specialty credentials. This is a step up. If you've got stellar students, or if you've got recommendations from your administration about how to mix and match and combine credentials, we see you. We're right there with you. So visual design, if you've got students that are getting into that graphic area and they really want to get some deeper expertise, right? This is Photoshop and then either Illustrator or InDesign. They're welcome to take all 3. As soon as they take 2, they get that professional and visual design designation. Same goes for video design with Premiere Pro, and then either After Effects or Photoshop, and then web design with Dreamweaver and Animate or Photoshop. So they're an awesome badge. It's an extra certificate. It's an extra achievement that really stands out. Okay, as for versions and details, the 2024 exams, they're out now. We're planning just to retire our 2021 versions at the end of June. That's kind of the cycle that we stick to. If you've got questions about that, we can talk about it more in the Q&A. One other thing that we wanted to note, this week, entries for Certiport's 2024 Adobe Certified Professional US National Championship are due Friday, May 3rd. And if you're not familiar with that, if you want to know more about that, we can talk about that in the Q&A. Just really briefly, it's to participate in a national competition where we bring in a nonprofit and we have students that have a project, they get a brief, they work on for these nonprofits, and it's an incredibly motivating competition. It's such a cool thing to be a part of. It's awesome to see these students who just step up and really shine in this kind of environment. The picture on the top right there is of the World Championship last year. The winner was from the US. So we were happy to represent there, but great to see some international on the stand as well. So Certified Educator Conference, that's where the US Nationals happens. That's in Florida this year. That's June 17th to the 19th. So if you're already signed up, we're excited to see you there. We've got a lot of awesome Adobe sessions. We've got some stellar speakers, including people who have helped us create these 2 new exams are going to be there. So a lot of good coming from that. Rosie, did I miss anything on this slide? Anything else you wanted to say here?
I don't think so. I mean, this photo on the top right was probably possibly like the highlight of my year last year. It's just such a beautiful moment with the first place from the US. And I can't remember who got second or third, but one is on the left, the student from Brazil, and on the right, the student from Bulgaria. So it's a really incredible opportunity. I know it's not the focus of this webinar, but if you have questions about it, we can certainly use time at the end of this because the clock is ticking and it's a pretty unbelievable opportunity. And the other photos of our Adobe teammates who couldn't join this call today, so wanted to make sure that they were represented. Great. Well, on that note, I think we can move on to talking about the actual certifications. Again, wish I had a drum roll. So I guess I'll talk first a bit about Adobe Express, and then I'll hand things over to Tanner to dig into Adobe Acrobat Pro. In the comments, definitely let us know if you are already a huge fan of these tools, already an expert, ready to get certified, or if there's something that you that are new to you. We're just super curious who's tuning in and about your familiarity level. These are both definitely a sort of departure from our current certifications a bit. It's a slightly different audience, which is really exciting. We know our current audience of people, sort of, designers, film editors, and people aspiring to be those things will certainly use these certifications as well. But we know there's also a world of people who maybe aren't, in Photoshop every day, aren't in Premiere Pro or After Effects every single day. And now we finally have something in response to their request for certification, and we couldn't be more excited. So as Tanner mentioned, all of our exams are 50 minutes long. Plus, of course, we have accommodations available. Our content creation and marketing using Adobe Express exam will be a selected response exam. So it's not inside of the application, but it is incredibly engaging nonetheless. And our sort of team of subject matter experts had just a fantastic time putting this together and really feeling like they're contributing something, that we're all contributing something novel to the field, something that doesn't really exist and that's going to serve this audience well of marketers, content creators, social media managers, anyone working in communications, and of course, entrepreneurs who have to be a little bit of everything. They are the designer, they might be the accountant, they've got it all. So we finally have something sort of for those folks who have been saying, well, what about me? We're really excited to have done the work of assembling the sort of knowledge that our subject matter experts have deemed to be really essential for not just using the tool is very user-friendly, but for having success in marketing, having success promoting, whether it's your business or an event, what have you, being able to communicate in multiple forms, in video, on web, graphics for all sorts of different uses or channels, to be mindful of your audience. We'll dig more into the exam objectives in a moment. And you'll see that there's definitely some overlap in the more conceptual, less technical aspects of our other exams as well. But of course, some of the exam touches on using Express. For those of you who may be unfamiliar somehow, Express Premium is actually what's available in the United States, at least, perhaps worldwide, to K-12 institutions. So if you remember nothing else from this presentation, remember the fact that if you are at a K-12 institution, that you have access to an absolutely incredible tool, or really it's more like a suite of tools, for free. And I think once you see what the tool is capable of, you're gonna want to take advantage of that pretty quickly. Of course, it's very user-friendly and thus popular in K-12 and in higher education, but our exam is really focusing on its use among professionals and how to create work with it that is professional. So if some of you are familiar with Express only in the context of our students use that for presentations, book reports, posters, class videos, that's awesome. And I hope that your school continues to do that. This is a sort of expansion into the more professional uses of the tool. So actually, before we dig into the domains, I will share a video just to spice things up. If I can kind of give you a really quick taste of what Express is about. If the audio doesn't play, let me know.
Welcome to the future. Let's get it. Won't stop, we just beginning. Came here, one goal to win it. Fight them right to the finish. Let's go, we on it. Toss people, power running. All eyes on this, just watch. Bet you can't guess what's coming next. Get ready, get ready, get ready, alright. on that next level. We up on that next. Up on that next. We up on that next. On that next level. Pedal to the metal. Get ready, away. We on that next level.
So it's hard to not watch that video and feel like a little bit excited to go and make something. I think it really emphasizes how useful this tool is. There's certainly a world of professional graphic designers who are using this every day, whether it's for the finished product, whether it's because they are just quickly mocking up an idea while they're on the train, or often because they want to set up the templates that then the sort of less the less expertly trained members of their team can use to create assets as well. So there's a huge world of designers who are using this, but then we've of course chosen in this case to focus on people who are also using it for marketing, and who may not themselves be professional graphic designers. We're not going to dig too closely into the domains because that's something we'll be sharing out afterwards. It'll be available online. It can be your homework item. Looking at the exam objectives is often what an educator does first, when they're contemplating incorporating a certification into their curriculum. The versions that we will post online actually go, I think, not just one, but 2 levels more with more detail. So if this feels general, it's because it is. You will have access to more specific sort of guidance on what's on the exams, and examples of what falls into those categories. So again, major concepts and principles that are in marketing, as well as major concepts and principles when it comes to design. Even if they're not graphic designers, they should still, there's some staples that you need to understand in order to go about this work and to be able to communicate with your clients or to communicate with designers. So we've also, I think the world is finally talking a lot more about accessibility. So that's an important part of this exam as well. Ethics is something that's a hot topic now. AI features are available in Express, and even if your, let's say, school isn't enabling all of the crazy, amazing AI features that Adobe has to offer, there is absolutely a need for students to be aware of those features, to be aware of sort of concepts in intellectual property and AI. So that's something that we're really happy to have featured on this exam. Again, we have more related to content creation, modifying the content. I mentioned templates again here. To me, that's one of my favorite things about Express. Is you can have a bunch of people different people making stuff while still keeping it on brand, or creating templates for your students to use. And there's also the world of managing that content, and all of these sort of assets and all the outputs, and of course sharing and publishing that, being aware of where this content is going to be going and how does that impact what form it needs to be in, the file type, the resolution, and whatnot. In terms of resources, Adobe's got a lot, which I'm super excited about. Again, the exam objectives will be available. We will have our Cert Prep practice tests like we have for all of our other exams. And then we've also got our beloved learning product partners developing their materials as well. So LearnKey, Brain Buffet, if you already do Adobe Certified Professional exams, you're familiar with those names, chances are you're using those, so you can expect to see Express or content creation and marketing using Express materials popping up in there, and then Acrobat as well. Adobe has, as I mentioned, made Adobe Express Premium available in K-12 for free. It's also, I believe, free for nonprofits and possibly others as well. Pricing for higher ed is certainly preferable versus commercial pricing. So certainly something to look into. Loads and loads of free tutorials and templates. If we have time at the end, I can, show you some of my favorites, but you'll get lost in it. There's so much to offer. And then the Adobe Education Exchange. Again, some of you might be familiar if you already teach digital media, because it is just chock full of resources. But they've got project and lesson plans like this one I've posted here, which is about making a multimedia book review. We've got self-paced courses like this one about generative AI. And then they've actually added a live learning calendar, or even just I think the next week or two of classes, you've got several to choose from. So in addition to looking at the exam objectives, maybe your other homework item can be to go sign up for one of those courses, because I know I'll be doing that. And I guess now it's time to move over to Acrobat. Tanner, do you want to take it away?
Yes, thank you, Rosie. You know, in this post-pandemic world, Acrobat and working with PDFs is becoming so much more prevalent. It's so much more the way that we're doing business. I spend all day, every day, working through contracts and analyzing things using Acrobat. So it's great that we are right there with Adobe. It's become a primary focus of Adobe right there with Express. So we're excited to have that renewed partnership and focus with Adobe as they promote Acrobat more broadly. It's a great place for educators to be in because it's the tool, right? It has defined the space in the same way that you know, Photoshop has become you know, they're struggling to keep the trademark on Photoshop because it's just the house brand. It is the name. It's what you describe when you say, hey, edit this photo for me, Photoshop it. You know, Acrobat is that name and it has that prevalence. So we're seeing more and more classes across the US, more and more that are adopting it into their curriculum because they see the demand growing in the workspace. So very similar to what we were just talking about, right? It's 50 minutes. This exam is live in the app, which is the same way that our existing 7 exams are today. So you're in Acrobat, you're tinkering with projects, you're answering questions. So it's innovative. It feels really good. So we're excited for you to see that. And it's all about proficiency in Adobe Acrobat Pro. So there's a lot of different versions of Acrobat out there in the same way that Express is targeting the premium version, which is available for free in education. Acrobat is targeting the pro version. So we're excited to have people see that. Rosie, will you roll the video and then we can talk about some ODs?
Yeah, sure thing.
I picked the video because these little guys up above me in this photo right here, they love to play on my work computer, and this one really spoke to me.
Are you able to see it right now? Is it sharing?
Yeah, all good.
Yeah, sure. No, no.
I love that
Thanks,
one.
Rosie.
So yeah,
that is definitely a reality today, right? That people are needing to have those secure documents secured, right? And doing it from home, and Acrobat is the way to do it. So let's talk about some of the ODs and what we're testing in this specific exam. So again, similar to how Express is about working in marketing, this is working in document management, and there's a broad field here, right? There's a lot of different things that go into document management. This isn't just for the paralegal. This isn't just for somebody who's in purchasing that needs to manage the document flow. There's a broad field that uses PDFs as the standard of communication. So in that, this objective is all about working in that field. It's less about Acrobat itself and more about understanding clients and copyright and all the different flows that you might work through, best practices, design and layout of a professional document. So that one's a little bit broader. And then Adobe Acrobat Workspace. This one zeroes in on what am I actually doing in Acrobat to navigate and organize how I'm working. Let's go with the next one, Rosie. This is about creating and organizing PDFs, right? So you need to have a logical flow. You need to be able to edit, you know, to split documents, to change them, to reorder the pages. Let's go with the next one. all about editing specific things in PDFs, adding assets, formatting text, preparing forms so that people can fill out your PDFs, things like that. The next one. And then collaborating, which is so much of what the workforce is doing today, sharing and reviewing PDFs, using proofreading, error correction tools. And then, like Rosie was saying, accessibility is a big deal, especially to the Acrobat team. As we were meeting with Adobe and talking about accessibility, that was a top priority for them because there are so many accessibility features in Acrobat that just make it the de facto standard. So things like protecting, redacting, exporting, and printing, that's a view of the objective domains.
Right on. Thanks, Tanner. I feel like this last one is particularly important, at least in my eyes. Again, the accessibility piece, people are realizing it's the important thing to do, the right thing to do. It's also increasingly a legal requirement. So companies who want to make sure that they are, on the right side of the law, or that they are going to avoid lawsuits, are going to prefer candidates who can ensure that they are creating accessible documents, that they are redacting things correctly, because it would be a big legal mishap waiting to happen, protecting documents, making sure that they're shared correctly, and so on. So I think there's a reason that we've been asked for this for a very long time. And so we're pretty excited to bring it to market. I'm happy to talk about some of the resources. Again, exam objectives. Again, we will have our Cert Prep practice tests. For those of you who haven't taken one of our existing exams, like Tanner mentioned, these are live in the app. So after the selected response portion, you are literally in Acrobat, completing tasks. Our software doesn't necessarily care how you do it. What it's analyzing is the outcome. So making sure that that you've completed the sort of requirements that have been put before you. We know that there's a million ways to do a given thing in so many of these applications. So having a live in the app exam is really valuable. When people take our current live in the app exams, especially professionals who've been doing it a long time, they often pass, of course, but then they go, oh, like I don't work as fast as I think I could, or, oh, I didn't think about these features. Acrobat is so packed with tools and time-saving features that people don't know about. So again, this is going to be a way of recognizing people who have actually put in the time to fully understand what this tool is capable of. I bring that up because our Cert Prep practice tests are also live in the app. So those will be as well. So you can look forward to having practice tests that's similar to the exam experience. Again, learning products from our various providers. Acrobat Pro is part of Creative Cloud, of course. If we didn't say that already, that is also true of Adobe Express Premium. So if you already have Adobe Creative Cloud All Apps, then you already have Adobe Express Premium and you already have Adobe Acrobat Pro. If your school has those things, you have those things. But you can also, of course, get Adobe Express Premium, especially if you're a K-12 school, for free on its own. Similarly, you can license Adobe Acrobat Pro on its own if for whatever reason you don't have the sort of need for the rest of Creative Cloud or you haven't made that purchase. So it's something that is included in Creative Cloud All Apps, but can be its own thing as well. Again, Adobe is chock full of free tutorials and templates and resources and so on. And then the Adobe Education Exchange, again, comes in handy. So I've put some examples here, and in the version of the document received, we'll hyperlink these so you can see, you can go look at these specific examples that we're showing you. I think these are all, we've got higher ed, secondary, there's a whole lot on there in terms of great tutorials as well. And they have both a self-paced course related to Acrobat, as well as a sort of kit for if you are conducting professional development for your colleagues, which we know is often the case. They've got materials to help you do that as well. So I guess we have time for questions. Hannah, have we had any come through in the chat or in the Q&A?
Yes, so Tanner's been good about answering those, but I want to capture a few of these on the recording as well. One in particular is about the training resources, which I believe you've touched on, but when are those scheduled to be released, particularly for the Adobe Express exam?
I believe the Express well, the exam is slated for June. I believe our schedule that we have on our website, I'll put that in the follow-up email as well, because I know some people might not have that link handy.
Sure.
Currently says July for the cert prep exam for the Express. But if that timeline gets pulled in or changes at all, it will be updated on that page. Tanner,
Perfect.
do you know any more on that subject?
Yeah, I know that we're doing our best to launch it in tandem. We want to make sure that we have both available. And then not just cert prep, not just practice tests. We're working closely with LearnKey and Brain Buffet and others, like you were mentioning earlier, to also have their content available as soon as possible. Our product manager, who would normally be on this call, is off guest lecturing in a course this morning. So we're missing her. So we'll follow up in the email after with specific timelines and details there.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Perfect.
we know some people are itching to be able to implement this like in the fall to be
Mhm.
able to put in their course. So by all means, take the exam objectives and start planning. But then as soon as especially we will have a form. I don't recall if I've mentioned that yet. We will have a form in the email. Chances are if you heard about this webinar, you are on our mailing list, and you're likely to get any updates we put out there. But we have put together an interest form specifically just about these new exams, with some additional questions about what you teach and whatnot. So I'd recommend filling that out if you want to get sort of more detailed updates on, for example, when the learning products become available. So that's good to do. In terms of Acrobat, I think that the practice test is expected in July along with the exam. Again, our learning product providers haven't posted their sort of ETAs for their materials yet. I think they might be waiting for us to make our big fun announcements first about the program. But we will make sure we share that information out as well.
Perfect. One other question that came through, and Tanner, you answered this one as well, but I want to make sure that we capture it, is about the retirement cycle, particularly on the view side, so the commercial side. But I believe we talked about the retirement of some of the older exams. Where can people get more information about that?
Yeah, excellent question. So let me go check the vanity URL real quick. I think it's just certiport.com/retirements. Ooh, it's been a while since I've been there. We'll send it in the link after.
Okay.
But we have an exam retirement page that has all the details and the plans. Currently, the plan is for our 2021 exams to be available through the end of June 30th. We kind of tied those releases and retirements to the US school year. We always aim to have 3 years of the versions available. So going into next school year, we'd recommend that you use the 2024 version because that's the latest and greatest. But if you're already on the 2023 version and you want to stay, you're welcome to. The 2022 version will retire June 30th of next year. So that's kind of just the cadence that we're in. And then I think that there was one other question in there that asked specifically about OnView, about the commercial side. So OnView is Pearson VUE's remote proctoring tool. And if you're an educator, it's probably not for you because it's professional level pricing. So going through your territory manager is going to give you a much better deal, especially for your students, if that's the way that you're purchasing. But for those that might be interested, on OnView today, we still have the 2023 version of all of our exams, and we're updating that over this summer to include the 2024 version, along with the Express and the Acrobat exams. So that's an update will happen all at once those exams are available. So
Perfect.
I'll
Okay,
make
so
sure
we
that
have,
that
go
link
ahead,
goes
Rosie.
in the I'll make sure that those links we've talked about are in this deck in case you want to link to the deck, like under the YouTube
Amazing.
video,
Yep.
for anyone watching this in the future.
Awesome. Thank you. So for those who are attending or who are watching the recording and want some or have some additional questions, where's the best place for them to contact you, Rosie, or Tanner, to get some answers to some of those things?
Sure thing. I'll put my email in the chat, and then similarly, we'll put that in the follow-up email as well. So feel free to reach out.
Fantastic.
Or certainly for those of you who are early adopters who are excited to just hit the ground running and have these things running in your classroom this fall, we definitely want to support you in that. And we definitely want to hear about how that process goes and get feedback throughout it. Feedback is a gift, and we will take it. So that's certainly would love for you all to be in touch.
Amazing. Okay, perfect. Looks like those are all of the questions I believe that have come through. So I just wanted, before we wrap up, to do a couple quick announcements. First is just a thank you, Rosie and Tanner, for all that you've shared with us this afternoon. We're excited about these new exams and the resources that you've mentioned. So we'll be keeping an eye out for those, and we'll make sure to send out, to Rosie's point, the deck with all of the links so that you can get more information. The first announcement is that as part of the Certified Academy Design Program, we offer a boot camp. So for teachers who are interested in getting certified or testing out the curriculum or practice tests that have been mentioned today, before you offer it to your students, we do have that option. If you didn't register for that initially, feel free to email us at certifiedacademy@pearson.com, and we'll make sure to give you some more information about how to upgrade your registration so that you can get access to some of those materials, test things out before you bring it into the class. The second announcement is that our Certified Academy Design Program is a build up to our annual Certified Educators Conference, which has been talked about during this session, happening in Orlando, Florida, June 17th through the 19th. So if you're looking for more interactions, more chances to connect with fellow Adobe educators, this is a great place to be able to do that. So I'll just point everyone to certified.certiport.com, and you can get more information about the conference, the community, all of the resources that are available as part of our certified brand. The final announcement is that next week we'll be discussing virtual reality with Unity. So that's our next webinar that we'll be hosting. This will be a chance to learn more about VR and how you can bring this new technology into your classroom, and learn a little bit more about Unity technology as well. So we are very excited. Hope that you're able to join us. As always, thank you so much, everyone, for spending time this afternoon learning with us. If you have any questions, feel free to respond to the follow-up email that we'll send out, or to reach out directly to your Certiport territory manager, and we will do our best to get you the information that you're looking for. So thank you, Rosie and Tanner. Thank you, everyone, for being here. We hope to see you all next week. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Hannah. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.